February is Black History Month in the United States, and VOA is highlighting the achievements of African Americans. In Washington last week, officials celebrated the groundbreaking for the Smithsonian Institution's newest attraction, the National Museum of African American History and Culture. VOA's Chris Simkins has more.
3, 2, 1, break ground.
After decades of planning, the Smithsonian Institution's Museum of African American History and Culture is being built on the National Mall in Washington. President Obama, former First Lady Laura Bush, and other dignitaries took part in the groundbreaking ceremony near the Washington Monument. Mr. Obama called the museum a crowning jewel for future generations, including his 2 young daughters.
When future generations hear these songs of pain and progress and struggle and sacrifice, I hope they will not think of them as somehow separate from the larger American story. I want them to see it as central and important part of our shared story, a call to see ourselves in one another.
Congressman and former civil rights leader John Lewis spent years trying to get lawmakers to approve the museum project.
We must tell the story, the whole story, 400 years story of African American contribution to this nation's history, from slavery to the present, without anger or apology.
When the $500 million African American History Museum opens in late 2015, its bronze-colored building is expected to attract more than 3 million visitors each year. It will be the largest anywhere to focus on African Americans. Inside, visitors will be able to view thousands of artifacts. Lonnie Bunch is the museum's director.
By helping to birth this museum so that everyone who visits will realize that we are all touched, shaped, and enriched by African American history and culture all the day, every day.
So far, museum officials have collected 20,000 historical items from around the country, and while the exhibits will cover the entire sweep of the African American experience, they will pay special attention to the institution of slavery, a painful chapter in American history. Bunch says the Smithsonian Museum in Washington will encourage people to visit hundreds of other local African American museums across the country.
If we're telling the story of slavery, we hope that once you leave us, we'll encourage you to go to the museum in South Carolina or a museum in the South to learn about slavery.
Smithsonian officials say when the museum is finished, it will go a long way in teaching future generations about the African American experience. Chris Simkins, VOA News, Washington.